Hello guys, how are you? Today we're going to talk about sentence linking. Sentence linking are some words or short phrases that we use to show or to demonstrate the relationship that have a sentence with other parts of the same sentence, or we talk about the purpose of a sentence. In this lesson, we're going to learn about 5 different sentence linking. So, as we said at the beginning, we use it to show or to demonstrate the relationship we have a sentence with other parts of the sentence. So, a sentence linking might be words or short phrases. The first sentence linking we have here is in case. We use in case to talk about something that we do because something else is possible, like to talk about cause and consequence. Like this: I took a hat with me in case it was sunny. In this case, I'm explaining why I did this, and I did it because this might happen. I broke another baseball in case we lose this one. Let's wear helmets when we go climbing in case we fall. When we did this, then we introduced in case, and then we explain why we did this. Then we have the clauses of purpose. A clause of purpose explains why someone does something. We can use to and an infinitive verb. I stay home to watch the tennis final. Why did you stay at home? I stay at home to watch the tennis final. We're saying that we did this because of this. We can use in order to an infinitive verb, or we can use in order not to. We can use it negative or affirmative form plus an infinitive. Kate and I left early in order to get good seats. We are explaining that we made this to get this. We can use so as to or so as not to plus an infinitive. I play lots of sports so as to keep fit. So that, subject, can or will. I explain the rules so that you can play too. In this case, we can use can or will because we are talking in future. Here we have the contraction. I'll explain the rules so that you can play too. We can use can or will. It's the same. Remember that we use can in informal form or will to sound more polite. Then we have so that, subject, could or would. I explained the rules so that you could play too. In this case, I did this to this. And it happens the same. We can use could or would according we are referring to. Remember that could is more informal and would is more polite, so we use could or would. But when we use this structure, we are talking about past. So these are the clauses. Of purpose. These are sentences that we use to explain why did we do something. And remember that first we say what did we do or what are we going to do. Then we introduce the clause of the sentence link. Then we introduce the sentence linking, and then we say why did we do it. Then we have the clauses of reason. A clause of reason, we use it to explain why something happened, and we can use it with because plus the sentence, the clause, because of a noun or a pronoun, because of the fact that plus a clause. Due to plus a noun, due to the fact that plus a clause, or as or since plus a clause. We couldn't go riding because it was snowing. We are using because and then we say the reason why we didn't do this. We couldn't go riding because of the snow. This didn't happen because of this. We couldn't go riding because of the fact that it was snowing. We couldn't go riding due to the snow. We couldn't go riding due to the fact that it was snowing. We couldn't go riding as it was snowing. We couldn't go riding since it was snowing. Notice that in some of these sentences we have a verb with ing termination, and in some of them we have a verb infinitive. So we change the verb from gerund to verb infinitives according to the form of the sentence linking. When we use because plus a clause, we use a gerund. When we use because of, we in a noun or pronoun, we use a verb infinitive. When we use because of the fact that, we use a gerund. Due to uses a verb infinitive. Due to the fact that uses a gerund, and also as or since use a gerund. The sentence linking process of reason is to explain why something happened. Let's continue with the clauses of result. Remember that our theme is sentence linking. The clauses of result tell us obviously the result of an action, and these are introduced by words and phrases like so and a clause, as a result plus a clause, therefore plus a clause, so an adjective or an adverb, that, and the clause, such a, such an. Remember that in this case we respect the uses of the indefinite article a or an, adjective plus a singular noun, that, the clause, such plus an adjective plus a plural or uncountable noun plus that plus a clause, so many or few plus plural noun plus that plus clause, so much, little plus uncountable noun plus that plus clause, such, a lot of plus plural uncountable noun plus that plus the clause. In this case, notice that we are using quantifiers, and remember that many and few is used to talk about plural nouns, and much, a little is used to talk about uncountable nouns. Well, in this case, notice that we are talking about quantifiers and we are respecting the use of I was tired, so I went to bed. The result of this is that we did this. I was tired and as a result, I went to bed. I was tired, therefore, I went to bed. I was so tired that I went to bed. I was such a tired child that I went to bed. This is too formal. This sounds like we were a storytelling. I was such a tired child that I went to bed. This is more formal. And remember that we can use it according to the people we are talking to, because I wouldn't use I was such a tired girl that I went to bed with a friend of mine. I would use it with something I respect, for example, a boss maybe. Neither with my mother I would use this. Okay, let's continue. Then we have, we were such tired children that we went to bed. This is the same but with plural. Remember we had child, children. I have so many balls that I don't know where to put them. In this case, we are talking about plural. I have so little time that I can't play tennis today. We are using little. The uncountable, remember that time is uncountable. And then what happened? I have such a lot of time that I can play tennis all day. We are using a plural. And let's go with the clauses of contrast and concession. The clauses for contrast and concessions link two opposite or contrasting ideas, and they show some kind of disagreement in a sentence. They are introduced by words and phrases like but. This is the most common use sentence linking but, and the clause. Like, he had hurt his leg, but he didn't stop playing. It's the contrast because almost all the people would stop playing. Then we have although, thought, even though, plus a clause. We can use any of these three. Even though he had hurt his leg, he didn't stop playing. We can say, although he had hurt his leg, he didn't stop playing. Although he had hurt his leg, he didn't stop playing. Then we use however, comma, and the clause. He had a rest, period. However, comma, his leg still hurt. That means that when we hurt a part of our body and it's not something to go to the hospital, we usually take a rest and then we feel better. But in these cases, we are indicating with this however that this thing didn't happen even when we did this. In spite of or despite plus a noun. He kept playing in spite of the pain in his leg. In spite of or despite plus ing termination. Despite being injured, he didn't stop playing. In spite of, despite the fact that plus a clause. Despite the fact that his leg hurt, he didn't stop playing. Why? Plus a clause. Hockey is exciting while golf is boring. Whereas or while plus clause. I play tennis whereas my best friend plays baseball. So do you remember that the clauses of contrast are used to talk about the contrast or the disagreement between two sentences? And remember that sentence linking are words or short phrases that we show the relationship between the sentences and the part of the sentences. And we have, in the case of some clauses, we have different structures because remember that this is part of the vocabulary and we can use any of them to don't sound like a recording. That's it, guys. Hear you next class. Goodbye.